What's up, y'all? This is Trading Unfiltered. I'm Sellers, and this is my boy.
Tatted, as usual.
And today we are going to be talking about our most recent trades.
No, correction. We're going to talk about your banger of a trade.
Well, here we go.
Banger of a trade.
Whatever. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk about mine first if you're good with that.
Please do, because I need to learn a thing or two about how to long.
Oh, man. No, it ain't nothing special.
Oh, it is. Just y'all wait. Look at this. Look at this. Let me sit back and learn a thing or two.
Well, I mean, I'm happy about it. It was this Friday I had about a 30% gain on my account. It was from several trades, but this was the big one. Like me and you talked about, it's there's a lot of factors in it, and it obviously usually you're not going to be wanting to long something up 180% in pre-market, but in this case there was just so many factors. The fact that this daily chart was so beaten down, I think it had like a 56% IO, which isn't too high, but that pre-market volume, man. I know you're the volume guy. So
yeah, I remember talking to a couple guys about this. In full disclosure, I haven't been actively trading for the last week or so. I know I posted a couple things on Twitter, but I got a lot of stuff going on, and it's just a bad recipe. If your headspace is off, I'll dig more into that later. But yeah, man, this thing traded, if I remember right, because I was doing my data earlier, like 19 million in pre-market, which was more than this thing has done on any day on the daily in the last 5 years. So right. Massive red flag. There was nothing on the daily that just showed a good level of resistance. And when you have stuff like that, man, like trying to pick a level of resistance when it's nothing to really pick from that's dangerous. And this thing was very bullish come out of pre-market. Never cracked VWAP in pre-market. Ton of volume in pre-market. Cancer news is always somewhat of a red flag.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. But yeah, man, a lot of red flags here. Volume being a big one for sure in pre-market.
Yeah, and like I was telling you, I don't have my VWAP adjusted for pre-market or post-market. That's why it looks like this. But it's I don't think it ever, if like you were saying, I don't think it actually broke the VWAP during the day.
Yeah, if you have your VWAP set for the after hours and pre-market, some do, some don't. I do, and I can tell you that it never cracked VWAP, not one time, not once in pre-market, not once during the day, nothing. But some people I know use VWAP without the after hours and pre-market data on, like you have here. But again, even if you take it off, it only cracked below VWAP like twice in the whole day. Yeah,
and this right here, just something else like we've talked about with indicators, that little pull right there, it was, I think it was like, I don't have the EMAs on here, but like we talk about using the EMAs and stuff on the 1 minute, 2 minute, whatever. This was like 10 cents away from the 1 minute 200, I believe, which
gotcha.
Is on something strong like this. Same thing with CLRO. I took a long on it early in the morning, but I hit another long on it and pretty much hit the bottom. It pulled down under the 1 minute 200, and I longed it, and it immediately like rocketed up to like, it went from like 140 to like 180 something, like 186, I think it was. I mean, within like 20 minutes.
I mean, I got to be honest here. For everybody listening, He's underselling this like a MFer. This was like a what? Would you say 400% gain?
Something like that, man.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, these are the type of trades that can change your month, can really change your year, your quarter. Like, this is insane. Insane. Like, well freaking done, man.
Man, I appreciate it. You know, and it I took a good bit off right here. I can't remember how many halts in this was, but
yeah, a lot.
The way I did it, this was, you know, I don't have, I mean, you can see right here the time, but I'm entering here pre-market, and this was really before it was totally confirmed for me. Obviously, I'm longing something up 100+%.
Sure, sure.
So I'm a little nervous, not in the perfect headspace for being totally committed to the position, but I'll scalp around pre-market a little bit. I took a good bit off here, and then I took it all off there. That was like right into open. And then when I saw this action, it wasn't breaking down. It was holding above $1.
The volume was crazy.
Yeah, and the volume, man, the volume pre-market, the volume into open, it was insane. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go back all in, full position size right here, and just what I had in my head at the time, I was, thinking fast. I'm thinking if this starts breaking under $1, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. And to me, it's such an easy spot to, because we talk about it from the opposite side, right? Like when we're shorting stocks that float around $1, it's so tough, man. It's tough to get them to crack that $1 and really break down. Like, it's such a headache. Of course, we've talked about before, hindsight trading is really dangerous. It's really easy to trade in hindsight. But when we're talking about a chart like this with your executions and you're reviewing it, I think that's a little bit different. But just another reason for this to be a tough short when it's right there at $1. Yeah, but like you said, I think that's a perfect.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's a confluence of things, and sometimes on stocks that are under $1, $1 is like a huge resistance. So that's my thought process on it, and so I'm pretty comfortable right here. I'm willing to lose what I would lose if it broke under $1, and I'm well aware that this opened at like 180 something percent. So, but the theme here, the past couple of days, we've had some big runners. Obviously, this being a 1,000%er, it's probably the craziest run I've seen intraday in 2022. You'd probably agree with me.
I mean, really, I can't remember anything. I mean, if something has happened this year in 2022, 1,000% runner like this, I can't even remember it because it's been so long.
I don't remember
if there has been another one. It was a long time ago, and this might be it. I don't know. Talking about listed stocks anyway, but I mean, this is crazy. And then for you to long the biggest runner that we can remember this year, you savage.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. But I know you are much better at tracking data than me, but I do track a little bit, and I track my performance on days, and I'm usually short. So my data for my performance says that Fridays are my worst days. I've had my biggest red day ever on a Friday. I mean, it wasn't this year, but I told myself going into the trading day on Friday, I was like, I'm only going long today. With the recent action, with the way things have been moving, the trappiness, just everything in small caps. Now, I mean, I would have shorted a large cap, but I was any small cap I traded. I was like, I'm not risking it on the short side. I just don't want to be a part of it. But yeah, man,
you killed it.
I appreciate it, man. It was something. It was
well, and to be honest, so like my favorite part is you oftentimes will get back into things, or you'll trade when maybe you've exhausted the mornings, and you'll still trade in the afternoon, because you know how it is. You get in there and you get to going. But what I love most about this is you nailed it, and then you didn't touch it again. That's my favorite part.
Man, I appreciate that. And I was talking to you that morning, and I was like, I told you, I was like, man, I just got filled on my last bit of the shares at $3.80. I was thinking I probably piked it. But I mean, it did go another $1. But dude, I was just too shook up, and I did come back and trade a little bit in the afternoon on a few other things, but I didn't give any money back. I just was like, I think I traded the Qs a little bit. But with some small size, I think I made like $200 or something like that. But man, like I was telling you, when it pulled down almost to the 1 minute 200 here, I was because I still had it up on one of my monitors here. I was still looking at it, and I was like, oh man, I know that this is gonna go more, but I told myself I wasn't touching it again.
Bravo, in my opinion, because you know how it is. Afternoons can be tricky, and yeah, I mean, it ran again from 2 almost to freaking 5, like another hundreds of %, but you killed it. Bottom line.
Thanks, man.
Crushed it.
I appreciate it. It was nerve wracking, and I don't like being in halted stops, especially ones. I mean, if I was short, I would have been really scared. But with the halt bands being so tight from the like we talked about, the previous day's price, I mean, all of that stuff that makes for a great long.
Yeah, it's a tough one to short, man. I know a lot of guys took some beatings on this one, and it's just good to see somebody nail the other side, especially somebody who, we know we're short bias. So to see somebody short bias hit it on the long, good to see.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And it was, it was a big one for me. I won't lie. So I'm excited about it. I was excited about it. I'm chilled out about it now, and I'm just ready to move on and go to the next one.
That's it. That's all we can do.
But if you want to kick off talking about what you were going to talk about in your trade.
Yeah, I do and I don't, but I'm going to do it because we're going to keep it real, and
that's right.
Some of y'all may know that have heard or seen some of my posts or whatever on Twitter. I've not been actively trading since early this month. Just had a lot of stuff going on. My dog is like my third kid, and he's struggling, and just got some stuff going on with the family, and it's just a lot going on. So my last trade I took is this gem right here. And this is just my journal trade, so the chart looks a little different than what you're used to seeing from me, but this is gross. And you can kind of see on the chart the dotted line that runs across towards the top of the range that's where I wanted to enter. That was my plan. My plan was to enter along that dotted line. Obviously, I didn't wait, right? Like, I knew I wasn't in a good headspace. I tried to trade anyway, and this is the result. I got chopped up, dead 5,000 paper cuts. This is like the old me, right? Like, this is what I used to do. And this is just complete loss of control, undisciplined trading, because as you can see, my last cover was literally where I wanted to enter. But at that point, I had cut it. I was right there at a max daily loss, and I was like, I just got to walk before it gets any worse. And that was on December 2nd, and I think it was AVXL was the chart. I guess the moral of this story is, and I'm not afraid to say it, like, I'm not in a good headspace to trade right now, period. And I tried that day, and it was just confirmation that I shouldn't be trading. So this is my most recent trade, also a really bad trade, but reason number 1,000 why if you're not in a good headspace, just don't trade. Like, walk away, take some time off. The markets are going to be there. Obviously, I regret what's on the screen. Like, this is really bad for me. Like I'm in, out, in, out, in, out, just chopped up, too much size. There's nothing good about this, but I just show this to say that, if you're not in a good headspace, man, just don't trade, because this could have got worse. Like I said, I was really close to a max daily loss here. Thankfully, I have a max daily loss.
Super important.
Yeah, I actually talked to a guy over the weekend, relatively new trader, and he's been struggling, and risk management's been an issue. He has Cobra. So I told him, I was like, you need to call Cobra immediately or on Monday, whatever, and you need to set a max daily loss to protect you from you.
We both got one.
Yeah, and I mean, I was within a couple $100 of hitting mine, to be honest with you. And, without that max daily loss, this could have been worse. But anyway, trading in a bad headspace, this is what it gets you. So if you're not in a good headspace, take the time off, or else you won't catch freaking 300% bangers like you did,
Hey, man, and look, I want to say this. I know I've said it before and you've said it before, and it's kind of like our whole thing here, but the stuff you see on Twitter, I mean, I know I have this chart that I posted, but I mean, I have some bad ones too. And anybody that says that they don't have charts like yours right there ever, they are lying to you. They're lying. 100%. Yeah, the people that never post bad charts, it's BS, man.
Or the ones that only post the good losers, right? Where they cut immediately and never retouch it, never go on till, like, we see it all the time. We see it every day. Actually, that guy I talked to over the weekend, I told him to get off of Twitter. And the reason I told him that is he said he was trying to formulate a strategy in a back test on how to top tick. And, where do you think he got that from, right? Like, he got it from Twitter when all he sees is people top ticking charts. It's just not real, man. It's not real life. Like, you will top tick some. You might get lucky and nail the top, cover the bottom, whatever, but that's just not common. This is more common than top tick charts, and this is gross, but this is a reality of it. And this was my most recent trade. Like I said, December 2nd. I think I did cover that AMAM LTP or TLP short, whatever it was, and I had like a 10 average and covered at 7. It's since in like 2s, so kind of messed that up.
Pretty sick trade though, man. You still
Yeah, I wish I'd have helped. But, I covered that a little early too, because I just wanted to stop looking at screens. I mean, you know how the OTCs, you can't set range orders, you can't, a little bit tougher to get executed. So I kind of had to be.
I don't know about OTCs because I've never touched an OTC.
Yeah, so
we're gonna have to do a video on that.
Yeah, you got to be present for the OTC trading. You can't leave your screen. They're a lot tougher sometimes to get executed. So I just went ahead and covered that swing. It was a nice one, but it's since in like the 2s or the 3s now. So I obviously left a huge chunk on the table, but I was happy with it, but not happy with this. Knew I shouldn't have been trading anyway. So this, again, is part of it. But I just say all that to say, if you're not in a good headspace, don't trade, because this is an emotional game. And if your headspace ain't right, don't mess with it.
No doubt. No doubt. I know I've been guilty of that like so many times. I've revenge traded. I've done the death by a million paper cut things. I mean, I can think of many trades where I've done that. I can think of a few trades where I've let it go way against me not that long ago. So, I mean, I try not to do that anymore, but like we talked about, man, it happens.
Yeah, and for me being the volume guy, there was so many reasons for me not to start shorting where I did. Volume was picking up. It just wasn't at a good level. So much wrong with that, but it is what it is. So let me just get that off the screen because it's depressing.
Oh, whatever, man.
I'm going to try to get back into it. I'm hoping this week or next week, I'm going to start getting back into it a little bit, but just had to take a little time off, reset, nothing wrong with that. And hopefully I'll catch a banger like you did. Give me 100%. I don't even need 300. Give me 100.
Hey, man, you had that 100%er on Vero.
That was a banger too. People were giving us a lot of crap about that, but we did our homework,
With you, yeah. I mean, you did more homework than me. I was confident enough to get into it with you. I just, like I was telling you earlier, man, when it halted for over a day, I was starting to get a little scared because I was like, okay, the size I have on this is
maybe we'll do a video on that one day. Oh, and something else we've been meaning to say for a long time is a man's got the Cobra shirt on.
Right here.
They are by far the best broker. We both use them. That's who our max daily losses set through. They are phenomenal. Obviously, they gave him the executions on his 400% winner. So shout out to them. But man, awesome broker. In this video's description, we'll put a link for Cobra. You can check them out. We can get you a free month of software, discount on commissions for life. But dude, best broker out there, hands down. Shout out to them.
They'll probably send you a bunch of shirts and hats and stuff too.
Them shirts are nice. I got one of them. I've wore it golfing a couple times.
I wore this one golfing the other day with my granddad. Man, he was like, "Hey, that's a good looking shirt." So my broker sent it to me.
Shout out to Chad and Cobra.
Chad is the man.
Indeed.
I love Chad.
Well, man, this was fun. Your trade's awesome. Mine sucks, but congrats to you, man. That's an account grower. Seriously, like those are the ones that can change your account in one day. But that's what we talk about: risk management, staying in the game, so you can catch those moves.
Well, man,
so, freaking beautiful.
Thank you, man. It was, it was a good game for me, and it definitely helped out on the month. It's going to make trading for the rest of this month a lot less stressful. You know, I'm not going to be so worried about paying bills and stuff. I told you earlier, I wired out some money, and I think that's another important thing is to pay yourself.
Yeah, man, you got to pay yourself. Christmas time is expensive. Kids, Christmas presents, all that stuff. So
we both got kids, so that's how it is. Mine just walked in the door. Like we were saying, that's all part of it.
Yeah, well, good video, man. Hopefully y'all learn the good, the bad, and the ugly from this. His was good and beautiful and amazing, and mine was really bad and really ugly. But hey, it's part of the game.
That's right. Well, hey, man, it was fun. I'm about to hit that outro.
Do it. Peace, y'all.
Peace.